Fall asleep to letters from the trenches of World War I or Bedtime History. Tonight we explore letters from the trenches of World War I or Bedtime History. Let these stories from the past carry you gently into peaceful sleep. In the quiet embrace of night, when the world has hushed its bustling noise, there exists a moment where the past whispers softly to those who are willing to listen. It is in this serene space that we embark on a journey through time, guided by the tender words of those who lived through the tumultuous years of the First World War. Imagine, if you will, a small wooden box, its surface worn smooth by the passage of years, resting on a dusty shelf in a forgotten corner of an attic. Inside this box lies a treasure trove of personal letters, each one a delicate thread weaving together the fabric of history. These letters, penned by soldiers from the front lines of Europe, offer a rare glimpse into the lives and hearts of those who faced the unimaginable. They are more than mere words on paper. They are windows into a world where courage and fear walked hand in hand, where hope flickered like a candle in the darkness. As we gently unfold each letter, we are transported to a time when the world was at war, yet the human spirit remained unyielding. The First World War, which raged from 1914 to 1918, was a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation. It was a time when nations clashed and empires crumbled, leaving in their wake a landscape scarred by battle. Yet amidst the chaos, soldiers found solace in the act of writing. Their letters home were lifelines, fragile connections to loved ones who waited anxiously for news from the front. Each missive carried the weight of longing and the promise of return, capturing moments of stillness amidst the storm. As we delve into these letters, we are struck by their emotional depth. Here's a young soldier, his handwriting shaky with exhaustion, describing the camaraderie that blossomed in the trenches. Despite the mud and the cold, there was laughter, shared stories, and an unspoken bond that transcended the horrors of war. In another letter, a soldier recounts the beauty of a dawn breaking over the battlefield, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, nature's splendor could offer a moment of peace. The historical significance of these letters cannot be overstated. They provide a personal narrative that complements the grander, often impersonal accounts of battles and strategies. Through their words, we gain insight into the daily lives of soldiers, their struggles, and their resilience. We learn of the Christmas truce of 1914, when opposing forces laid down their arms and shared a brief respite from the fighting. Such moments of humanity amidst conflict remind us that even in war, the human spirit strives for connection and understanding. As we continue our exploration, we encounter letters filled with dreams of home. Soldiers wrote of the simple pleasures they yearned for, the taste of a home-cooked meal, the sound of a familiar voice, the warmth of a loved one's embrace. These desires, so humble and yet so profound, speak to the universal longing for comfort and belonging. They remind us that, despite the passage of time, the essence of human experience remains unchanged. The letters also reveal the profound impact of the war on those who served. Many soldiers returned home forever altered by their experiences, carrying with them the invisible scars of conflict. Their letters, often written with a sense of urgency, convey the hope that their sacrifices would not be in vain. They dreamed of a world where future generations might live in peace, free from the shadow of war. As we gently place these letters back into their wooden box, we are left with a sense of reverence for the stories they hold. They are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is light to be found. These letters, with their faded ink and fragile paper, continue to whisper to us from the past, urging us to remember and to learn. As we prepare to drift into a peaceful slumber, let us carry with us the echoes of these voices from another time. They invite us to reflect on the broader context of the war and its enduring impact on those who lived through it. In our dreams, may we find a deeper understanding of the courage, love, and hope that defined an era, and may we awaken with a renewed appreciation for the stories that shape our world. The Great War unfolds in the quiet corners of history. The early 20th century was a time of both remarkable progress and simmering tensions. The dawn of the 1900s saw Europe as a tapestry of alliances and rivalries, woven tightly together by both shared interests and deep-seated mistrust. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria in June 1914 ignited a chain reaction, setting off a conflict that would engulf the continent and beyond, altering the course of history. The war's origins were rooted in a complex web of political, economic, and military factors. Nationalism surged across borders, fueling desires for independence and dominance. The intricate alliance system, designed to maintain a balance of power, ironically set the stage for a larger conflict. When Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, alliances were activated like dominoes falling in succession. Germany, Russia, France, and Britain were all drawn into the fray, each bound by treaties and obligations that seemed inescapable. Once the war commenced, the European theater became a sprawling battlefield. The conflict quickly spread across various fronts, with the Western Front being the most infamous, stretching from the North Sea to the Swiss border. This front bore witness to some of the war's most grueling battles. Here, the landscape was transformed into a labyrinth of trenches, a system that defined much of the conflict's character. Trench warfare emerged as a grim necessity, offering soldiers a semblance of protection from the relentless artillery barrages and machine gun fire. These trenches, often muddy and waterlogged, became home to countless men. Life within these narrow confines was harsh and unforgiving. The constant threat of enemy attack, combined with the squalid living conditions, tested the endurance and spirit of those who found themselves entrenched in this static form of warfare. The geography of the war was vast, with battles stretching from the Western Front to the Eastern Front, and even into the Middle East and Africa. Each front presented its own challenges and horrors, but the Western Front is perhaps the most emblematic of the war's brutal nature. The Battle of the Somme, the Battle of Verdun, and the Ypres salient are etched into history as symbols of the immense human cost. These battles saw unprecedented casualties, with little ground gained or lost, highlighting the futility and devastation of the conflict. The impact of the war extended far beyond the soldiers in the trenches. Civilians across Europe faced hardships as economies were redirected towards the war effort. Rationing became a way of life, and the specter of loss hung over countless families. The war also saw the mobilization of women in unprecedented numbers as they stepped into roles traditionally held by men, from factory work to nursing, reshaping societal norms in the process. Technological advancements played a significant role in shaping the war. The introduction of tanks, airplanes, and chemical weapons added new dimensions to the battlefield. These innovations, while designed to break the stalemate, often resulted in even greater destruction and suffering. The use of poison gas, in particular, introduced a new level of horror, indiscriminately affecting all those exposed to its deadly embrace. As the war dragged on, the psychological toll on combatants became increasingly apparent. The term shell shock emerged to describe the trauma experienced by those subjected to the relentless bombardments and the ever-present threat of death. This psychological impact was profound, affecting not only the soldiers, but also the families and communities they left behind. Amidst the chaos and carnage, moments of humanity and compassion occasionally pierced the gloom. Stories of camaraderie and shared experiences across enemy lines remind us of the enduring spirit of those caught in the conflict. These fleeting moments offered a glimmer of hope and a reminder of shared humanity. Even in the darkest of times, the Great War, as it unfolded, was a conflict of unprecedented scale and complexity. It reshaped borders, toppled empires, and set the stage for future global conflicts. The lessons learned and the scars left behind would influence generations to come. As we reflect on the vast scope and profound impact of this war, our attention turns to the individual stories that emerged from the trenches. These personal experiences, captured in letters and diaries, offer intimate glimpses into the lives of those who endured the unimaginable. Through their words, we gain a deeper understanding of the human spirit's resilience and the enduring bonds forged in the face of adversity. In the next chapter, we will delve into these personal narratives, exploring the daily lives of those who lived and fought in the trenches. Through their eyes, we will witness the challenges they faced and the small comforts they found amidst the turmoil. The personal stories of the Great War bring a human dimension to the vast historical landscape, reminding us that history is not just a series of events, but a tapestry of individual lives intertwined in the fabric of time. In the heart of the Western Front, soldiers found themselves enveloped in a world defined by the narrow confines of a trench. These trenches, stretching for miles, were more than just a line of defense. They became the soldiers' homes, workplaces, and places of refuge. Daily life in these trenches was a blend of routine, adaptation, and resilience, shaped by the harsh realities of warfare and the relentless march of time. The physical conditions of the trenches were a constant challenge. Dug into the earth, these narrow corridors were often muddy and waterlogged, particularly during the rainy seasons. Soldiers waded through knee-deep mud, their boots heavy with the weight of water and dirt. The walls of the trenches, reinforced with sandbags and wooden planks, offered little protection against the elements. In winter, the cold was biting, and frostbite was a common affliction. In summer, the stench of decay and the buzzing of flies were inescapable companions. The soldiers had to adapt quickly to these conditions, learning to sleep amidst the noise and discomfort, often in makeshift shelters known as dugouts. Life in the trenches followed a strict routine, dictated by the necessities of survival and the demands of military strategy. Soldiers were divided into shifts, with each group taking turns on sentry duty, a task that required vigilance and alertness. The threat of enemy attack was ever present, and the soldiers had to remain watchful, scanning the horizon for any signs of movement. When not on duty, they engaged in the maintenance of the trenches, repairing damage caused by shell fire and reinforcing the walls to prevent collapse. Meals were a simple affair, often consisting of tinned beef, hard biscuits, and tea. The food, though far from gourmet, provided the necessary sustenance for the physically demanding life in the trenches. Occasionally, parcels from home would arrive, bringing with them a taste of comfort and a reminder of life beyond the war. These parcels, filled with homemade treats and personal letters, were cherished by the soldiers, offering a brief respite from the monotony and hardship. Sanitation was a significant concern in the trenches. With limited facilities, maintaining hygiene was a daily struggle. Soldiers had to contend with lice infestations and the spread of diseases such as trench fever and dysentery. Makeshift latrines were dug at a distance from the living areas, but the risk of contamination was ever present. Despite these challenges, the soldiers found ways to maintain some semblance of cleanliness, using whatever resources were available to them. The camaraderie among the soldiers was a crucial element of trench life. In the face of adversity, they formed bonds that transcended rank and background. Shared experiences and mutual reliance fostered a sense of brotherhood, providing emotional support and strength. This camaraderie was evident in the small acts of kindness and the shared laughter that punctuated the long hours of waiting and uncertainty. Adaptation was key to survival in the trenches. Soldiers developed strategies to cope with the psychological strain of war, finding solace in routine and the small pleasures of life. Some turned to writing, penning letters to loved ones or keeping diaries to document their experiences. Others found comfort in music or games, creating moments of levity amidst the grim reality. These activities provided an escape, however brief, from the relentless demands of trench life. Despite the hardships, the soldiers displayed remarkable resilience. They learned to navigate the challenges of trench warfare with ingenuity and determination, finding ways to maintain their spirits and fulfill their duties. The resilience of these men was a testament to their strength and character, a reflection of their unwavering commitment to their comrades and their cause. In the quiet moments, when the sounds of gunfire and artillery faded into the background, the soldiers' thoughts often turned to home. The longing for the familiar comforts of family and friends was a constant presence, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Dreams of home provided a beacon of hope, a promise of a future beyond the war. As the night settled over the trenches, the soldiers prepared for another day on the front lines. The routine continued, a cycle of duty and endurance, punctuated by moments of reflection and longing. In the stillness of the night, their thoughts drifted to the places and people they held dear, carrying them through the darkness with the promise of a brighter tomorrow. In the quiet moments between the chaos of battle, soldiers often found themselves enveloped in a profound yearning for home. This longing was a constant companion, whispering to them in the stillness of the night and in the rare moments of solitude. It was a yearning that transcended the physical discomforts of their surroundings, reaching deep into their hearts and reminding them of the warmth and comfort they had left behind. The emotional toll of separation from loved ones was immense. Many soldiers had left behind families, sweethearts, and communities that were the very essence of their lives. The letters they penned home were filled with expressions of homesickness, each word a testament to their deep-seated desire to return to the familiar embrace of home. "Dearest Mary," one soldier wrote, "I find myself thinking of our little garden, the way the roses bloom in the spring. I long for the days when we can sit there together once more, free from the burdens of this war." These letters were more than just words on paper. They were lifelines that connected soldiers to their past lives. Correspondence provided a semblance of normalcy, a tether to the world they once knew. Reading and rereading these letters became a ritual, a momentary escape from the harsh realities of the front lines. The faint scent of home, captured in the ink and paper, was a balm to their weary souls. To cope with their longing, soldiers developed various mechanisms to manage the emotional strain. Some turned to the camaraderie of their fellow soldiers, finding solace in shared experiences and mutual understanding. In the trenches, friendships were forged that transcended the boundaries of class and background, creating a brotherhood that provided comfort and support. "We are all in this together," a soldier wrote to his mother. "The bond we share is something I cannot quite explain, but it eases the ache of being away from you." Others sought refuge in memories, allowing their minds to drift back to cherished moments. They would close their eyes and picture the faces of their loved ones, hear the laughter of children, and feel the gentle touch of a parent's hand. These mental escapes were a way to transport themselves, albeit temporarily, to a place where the war could not reach them. Every night, before I sleep, I think of you and the children, a father wrote to his wife. It is my way of keeping you close, even when we are worlds apart. Music and song also played a significant role in lifting the spirits of soldiers longing for home. In the evenings, when the guns fell silent, they would gather to sing familiar tunes that reminded them of happier times. These impromptu concerts were a source of comfort, a reminder that despite the distance, the melodies of home could still reach them. We sang Danny Boy last night, one soldier recounted in a letter. For a moment, I was back in the pub with you, singing our hearts out. The longing for home was not just about physical places. It was deeply tied to the people and the sense of belonging they provided. Soldiers missed the simple joys of family life, the laughter around the dinner table, the warmth of a shared meal, the quiet moments of companionship. I miss the sound of your voice, a young husband confessed to his wife in a letter. It is the music that soothes my soul, and I yearn to hear it once more. Despite the overwhelming sense of longing, soldiers found ways to channel their emotions into resilience. They held on to hope, believing that one day they would return to the lives they had left behind. This hope was a powerful force, sustaining them through the darkest of times. I dream of the day when we can walk hand in hand again, a soldier wrote to his sweetheart. Until then, I hold you in my heart, and that gives me strength. The longing for home was a universal experience among soldiers, transcending nationalities and backgrounds. It was a reminder of their shared humanity, a common thread that connected them across the battlefields. In their letters, they often expressed a desire for peace, a world where they could return to their families and rebuild their lives. I pray for the day when this war ends, a soldier wrote, when we can all go home and live in peace, surrounded by those we love. As the war dragged on, the longing for home became a source of motivation, driving soldiers to endure the hardships they faced. It was a reminder of what they were fighting for, the people and places that awaited their return. This longing, though painful, was a testament to the depth of their love and the strength of their spirit. In the end, the yearning for home was a powerful force that shaped the experience of soldiers during the war. It was a reminder of the bonds that connected them to their past, a source of comfort in the midst of chaos, and a beacon of hope for the future. As they lay in their trenches, gazing at the stars, they held on to the belief that one day they would return to the embrace of home. And so, with thoughts of home lingering in their hearts, the soldiers found solace in the friendships they forged on the battlefield. These bonds, born out of shared struggles and mutual support, became a lifeline, offering a sense of belonging and camaraderie amidst the turmoil of war. In the dim glow of a flickering lantern, shadows danced across the walls of the dugout, creating a tapestry of fleeting images that seemed to tell stories of their own. Here, amidst the mud and echoes of distant artillery, bonds were forged that would withstand the test of time and circumstance. The soldiers who found themselves in these cramped quarters came from different corners of the world, each with their own story, but united by a common purpose and the shared hardships of war. Among these men was a young fellow named Thomas, whose cheerful disposition was a beacon of light in the otherwise somber environment. Thomas had a knack for lifting spirits with his humor, often recounting tales from his countryside home where fields of lavender stretched as far as the eye could see. His stories were like a balm, momentarily transporting his comrades away from the reality of their surroundings. In the midst of the chaos, companionship became a lifeline. The camaraderie that developed in those dire conditions was not just a byproduct of necessity, but a profound connection that provided emotional sustenance. It was said that a friend in the trenches was a friend for life, and this sentiment rang true for the men who shared their burdens and dreams in the face of adversity. One evening, as the rain pattered softly against the makeshift roof, Thomas sat beside a fellow soldier named James. James, a quiet and introspective man, had initially kept to himself, burdened by the weight of letters he carried from home. These letters, penned with love and longing, were his tether to a world that seemed increasingly distant. Yet, as time passed, he found solace in Thomas's unwavering optimism and the shared laughter that echoed through the dugout. Their friendship blossomed during the long nights when sleep was elusive, and the specter of fear loomed large. They spoke of their families, their hopes for the future, and the simple pleasures they yearned to return to. It was during these conversations that they discovered a shared passion for music, leading to impromptu performances that lifted the spirits of all who listened. James, with his deep baritone voice, would sing while Thomas, ever resourceful, fashioned a makeshift drum from an empty ration tin. The power of these connections was evident in the way they buoyed each other through the darkest times. When the reality of their situation threatened to overwhelm them, the knowledge that they were not alone provided a crucial anchor. The bonds of friendship offered a semblance of normalcy, a reminder of the humanity that persisted even amidst the inhumanity of war. As the months wore on, the men faced the relentless challenges of life at the front. The harsh conditions, compounded by the ever-present threat of danger, tested their resilience. Yet, through it all, the friendships they nurtured became a source of strength. They found comfort in shared rituals, like the evening tea brewed from salvaged leaves, a simple act that became a cherished moment of respite. In quieter moments, Thomas and James would sit together, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this point. They spoke of the friendships that had formed around them, each one a testament to the enduring spirit of camaraderie. There was Edward, whose quick wit and strategic mind had saved them more than once, and Henry, whose unwavering courage inspired all who knew him. These men, with their diverse backgrounds and experiences, had become a family, bound not by blood, but by shared trials and triumphs. The importance of these bonds was never more evident than during moments of crisis. In the heat of battle, when fear threatened to take hold, it was the presence of a trusted friend that provided the courage to persevere. The knowledge that someone had their back, that they were not alone in the fight, was a powerful motivator. It was said that the men who fought together were more than just comrades. They were brothers, forged in the crucible of war. As the war dragged on, the letters from home became a lifeline, a connection to the world beyond the battlefield. Each missive was eagerly anticipated, read and reread until the paper grew thin. These letters were shared among friends, their contents discussed and dissected, providing a glimpse into the lives they had temporarily left behind. In this way, the bonds of friendship extended beyond the trenches, encompassing the families and loved ones who waited anxiously for their return. In the quiet moments before dawn, as the world held its breath, Thomas and James would often find themselves reflecting on the dual emotions of hope and fear. Hope for a future where peace reigned and they could return to the lives they had paused, and fear of the unknown, the uncertainty that lay ahead. It was in these moments that the strength of their friendship shone brightest, a beacon guiding them through the darkness. And so, as the lantern flickered one last time before extinguishing, the men settled into a companionable silence, each lost in their own thoughts, yet comforted by the presence of those who shared their journey. The bonds forged in battle were not easily broken, and they knew that whatever the future held, they would face it together, a testament to the enduring power of friendship. In the dim glow of flickering candlelight, a soldier sat hunched over a small wooden desk, pen in hand, as he carefully composed a letter to his beloved. Outside, the night air was heavy with the echoes of distant artillery, a constant reminder of the grim reality that surrounded him. Yet, within the confines of this moment, the soldier sought solace in the gentle act of writing, a ritual that allowed him to momentarily transcend the chaos of war. Here, hope and fear intertwined, each vying for dominance in the heart of a man far from home. Fear was an omnipresent companion in the trenches, lurking in the shadows of every waking moment. It was the chill that crept into the bones during the long, cold nights, and the unease that settled deep within as the sun rose over the scarred landscape. The soldiers lived with the knowledge that danger was ever near, a silent predator that could strike without warning. The sound of a whistle, the crack of a rifle, or the sudden rumble of an approaching bombardment could turn a moment of calm into one of sheer terror. This fear was a shared burden, binding the men together in an unspoken pact of survival. Amidst this backdrop of dread, letters became lifelines, threads of hope that connected the soldiers to a world beyond the battlefield. Each word penned was a testament to the enduring human spirit, a beacon of optimism in the face of overwhelming adversity. Through these letters, soldiers found a way to express their dreams, their longing for peace, and their unwavering belief in a brighter future. The letters were cherished artifacts, often read and reread, their pages worn thin by the touch of hopeful fingers. In these missives, soldiers recounted stories of home, painting vivid pictures of familiar landscapes and beloved faces. They spoke of gardens in bloom, of children playing in sun-drenched fields, and of the comforting embrace of loved ones. These words served as a balm for weary souls, offering a respite from the harsh realities of war. The act of writing allowed the soldiers to momentarily escape the confines of their surroundings, to imagine themselves in a place where fear held no sway. Yet, even as they clung to hope, the specter of fear was never far away. The letters often contained hints of the struggles faced on the front lines, the loss of comrades, and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. The soldiers wrote of sleepless nights spent in anticipation of the next attack, of the constant vigilance required to stay alive. These admissions were not confessions of defeat, but rather acknowledgments of the reality they faced, a testament to their resilience in the face of unimaginable odds. Balancing hope and fear was a delicate dance, one that required a steadfast heart and an unwavering spirit. The soldiers learned to find strength in the small moments of joy that punctuated their days. A shared joke, a song sung softly under the cover of night, or the simple pleasure of a hot cup of tea could lift the spirits and fortify the soul. These fleeting moments of happiness were treasured, serving as reminders that even in the darkest of times, there was still beauty to be found. The camaraderie among the soldiers was a powerful antidote to fear, a bond forged in the crucible of shared experience. Together, they faced the trials of war, supporting one another through the hardships and celebrating the small victories that came their way. This sense of brotherhood provided a foundation upon which hope could flourish, a reminder that they were not alone in their struggle. As the war dragged on, the letters continued to flow, a steady stream of hope and fear interwoven in the fabric of each page. The soldiers wrote of their longing for peace, their dreams of returning home to a world free from conflict. They imagined a future where the horrors of war were but a distant memory, where they could once again walk in the sun without fear. In the quiet moments before sleep, as the soldier laid down his pen and extinguished the candle, he allowed himself to dream. Envisioned a world where hope triumphed over fear, where the bonds of love and friendship endured beyond the battlefield. These dreams were a source of strength, a beacon that guided him through the darkest of nights. As the soldier drifted into slumber, his mind turned to thoughts of the future, of a time when the war would be over and the world reborn. He imagined a life filled with laughter and light, a testament to the enduring power of hope. And in that moment, as sleep gently claimed him, he knew that no matter the trials he faced, the spirit of hope would always shine brightly, a guiding star in the night sky. Dreams of tomorrow. In the quiet moments between the chaos of war, soldiers often found solace in thoughts of the future. These reflections, captured in letters sent across continents, painted vivid pictures of aspirations and dreams that extended beyond the battlefield. The letters, penned with trembling hands under the dim glow of lanterns, revealed the innermost hopes of those yearning for a world at peace. One such letter, written by a young soldier named Thomas, spoke of his longing for a simple life. "When this is all over," he wrote, "I dream of a small cottage by the sea, where the only sounds are the waves and the laughter of children. I imagine tending to a garden, the earth rich and welcoming, as it yields the fruits of our labor." For Thomas, the vision of cultivating life from the soil was a powerful symbol of renewal and healing. Another soldier, Fritz, shared his aspirations in a letter to his sister. "I often think of returning to the university," he confided, "to sit in a lecture hall once more, to engage in debates and discussions that challenge the mind rather than the body. I dream of a world where knowledge is the greatest weapon, and books are the shields that protect us." Fritz's words echoed the sentiments of many who longed to exchange the brutality of war for the enlightenment of education. The uncertainty of post-war life loomed large in these letters, yet it was this very uncertainty that fueled the soldiers' dreams. They imagined a world reshaped by their sacrifices, a place where peace was not just an absence of conflict, but a presence of harmony. In the trenches, where every sunrise was a reminder of survival, such dreams provided a beacon of hope, guiding them through the darkest nights. A letter from Jacques to his beloved Marie captured this sense of anticipation. "I envision a world where nations come together in friendship," he wrote, "where borders are merely lines on a map, and our hearts are open to one another. I dream of gatherings in the town square, where music and laughter fill the air, and we dance as if the war never happened." Jacques' vision was one of unity, a testament to the power of hope in the face of adversity. For many soldiers, the thought of returning home was intertwined with the fear of what they might find. The landscapes of their memories had been altered by the ravages of war, and the familiar had become foreign. Yet, in their letters, they clung to the belief that love and resilience would bridge the gap between past and present. In a letter to his mother, Edward expressed this sentiment with poignant clarity. "I worry about what awaits me at home," he admitted, "but I hold on to the belief that love will rebuild what war has torn apart. I dream of the day when I can walk through the fields of our farm, the sun warm on my face, and know that I am finally home." Edward's words were a reminder that, even amidst the uncertainty, the bonds of family and community remained unbreakable. The anticipation of post-war life was not without its challenges. The soldiers knew that the transition from combat to civilian life would be fraught with difficulties. Yet, it was the promise of peace that motivated them to endure. In a letter to his friend, Giorgio reflected on this duality. "There is a part of me that fears the end of the war," he confessed. "For what will I be without my uniform, without the camaraderie of my brothers? But then I remember the faces of those I love, and I know that I must find my place in the world again." Giorgio's words spoke to the inner conflict faced by many as they grappled with the loss of identity and the promise of a new beginning. Throughout their letters, the soldiers often returned to the small comforts that sustained them. The thought of a warm meal shared with family, the sound of a child's laughter, or the simple pleasure of a quiet evening by the fire were powerful motivators. These visions of everyday life seemingly mundane yet profoundly meaningful, offered a glimpse of the world they fought to preserve. In the end, the dreams of tomorrow were as varied as the soldiers themselves. Each letter was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the midst of war, the desire for peace and a better future remained undiminished. As the soldiers lay down to rest, their thoughts drifted to the world they longed to create, a world where the lessons of war would give birth to a lasting peace. And so, as the night embraced them, they found comfort in these dreams, knowing that the dawn would bring them one step closer to the future they envisioned. Transitioning from these dreams to the small comforts that sustained them daily, they held on to the hope that tomorrow would be brighter. Amidst the mud and mire of the trenches during World War I, soldiers found solace in the small comforts that tethered them to the world they had left behind. These comforts, though simple, were cherished treasures that brought fleeting moments of joy and a sense of normalcy amid the chaos of war. Among the most precious of these were the letters and packages from home, tangible connections to loved ones and reminders of life beyond the battlefield. Receiving a letter was an eagerly anticipated event, a beacon of hope that pierced through the gloom. Soldiers would gather around as the mail was distributed, their hearts racing with anticipation. Each envelope was a lifeline, carrying words of love, encouragement, and news from home. These letters offered a brief escape, allowing soldiers to imagine themselves back in the embrace of family and friends. They were read and reread, the familiar handwriting providing comfort and reassurance that they were not forgotten. Packages from home were equally treasured, often containing small luxuries that were scarce in the trenches. A bar of chocolate, a pair of warm socks, or a tin of homemade cookies could lift spirits and provide a momentary reprieve from the harsh realities of war. These parcels were a testament to the care and concern of those waiting anxiously across the sea, a reminder that they were loved and missed. In addition to letters and packages, humor played a crucial role in maintaining morale. Soldiers developed a unique camaraderie, using humor as a coping mechanism to endure the hardships they faced daily. Jokes and anecdotes were shared liberally, often poking fun at their own predicaments or the absurdity of military life. This humor was a balm for weary souls, a way to bond and find strength in shared experiences. Leisure activities also provided a welcome distraction from the monotony and danger of trench life. When not on duty, soldiers engaged in various pastimes to pass the time and keep their minds occupied. Card games were a popular choice, with soldiers gathering in small groups to play by the dim light of a lantern. These games were not just about winning or losing, but about companionship and the brief respite they offered from the war. Music, too, played an essential role in lifting spirits. Soldiers would often sing together, their voices rising above the din of battle. Songs from home, as well as newly composed tunes, echoed through the trenches, creating a sense of unity and shared purpose. Music had the power to transport them, if only for a moment, to a place of peace and familiarity. Artistic expression flourished as well, with many soldiers turning to drawing or writing to capture their experiences and emotions. Sketches of trench life, portraits of fellow soldiers, and poetic musings filled notebooks and scraps of paper. These creative outlets allowed soldiers to process their thoughts and feelings, providing a sense of control and agency in an otherwise unpredictable environment. The small comforts of humor and leisure activities offered more than just distraction. They provided a semblance of normalcy in a world turned upside down. They reminded soldiers of who they were beyond their uniforms, of the lives they had led before the war, and of the futures they hoped to return to. These comforts were a vital part of their resilience, helping them to endure the unendurable and find moments of joy amidst the sorrow. In the quiet moments between battles, soldiers would often reflect on the simple pleasures they missed most: a warm meal shared with family, the sound of laughter around a dinner table, the touch of a loved one's hand. These memories sustained them, fueling their determination to survive and return home. The small comforts they found in the trenches were not just about survival, but about preserving their humanity in the face of unimaginable hardship. As the war dragged on, these small comforts became increasingly important, serving as reminders of the world they were fighting to protect. They were symbols of hope and resilience, testaments to the enduring spirit of those who fought bravely in the face of adversity. In the end, it was these small comforts that helped soldiers endure the long, dark nights and find strength in the promise of a brighter tomorrow. As the sun set on the horizon, casting a warm glow over the battlefield, soldiers would gather in small groups, sharing stories and laughter as they prepared for another night in the trenches. These moments of camaraderie and connection were a balm for weary souls, a reminder that they were not alone in their struggles. As they settled into their makeshift beds, the memories of letters from home, shared laughter, and the simple joys of music and games would lull them into a restless sleep, their dreams filled with visions of peace and the hope of returning to the lives they once knew. With the dawn of a new day, the soldiers would rise, ready to face the challenges ahead. The small comforts that had sustained them through the night would continue to provide strength and solace as they navigated the complexities of trench life, each moment a step closer to the end of the war and the promise of home. And so, as the soldiers prepared to face another day, they carried with them the knowledge that, even in the darkest of times, the small comforts of life could light the way forward, offering a glimmer of hope and a reminder of all that was worth fighting for. In the quiet hours before dawn, the trenches stretched across the landscape like a great earthen serpent, winding through fields once vibrant with life. Here, in these narrow corridors, the soldiers of the Great War found themselves ensconced in a world defined by the mundane and the routine. Each day unfolded with a predictable rhythm, a steady cadence that brought both comfort and weariness. The morning began with the soft rustle of waking men, the muted clink of tin cups, and the low murmur of voices rising like a gentle tide. As the sun peeked over the horizon, casting its pale light on the earthworks, the soldiers emerged from their dugouts, shaking off the night's cold embrace. The first task of the day was the stand to, a ritual performed at the break of dawn and dusk. It was a time of heightened alertness, a precaution against the enemy's favored hours of attack. Men lined the parapets, peering into the misty no-man's land, their breath forming small clouds in the chill air. Once the stand-to was complete, the soldiers turned to their morning chores. Breakfast was a simple affair, often consisting of hardtack biscuits and a steaming cup of tea or coffee, brewed over small fires that dotted the trench line like stars in a darkened sky. The warmth of the drink offered a brief reprieve from the biting cold, a moment of solace in the otherwise harsh environment. After breakfast, the men set about their assigned tasks, each one contributing to the upkeep of their temporary home. Some were tasked with cleaning rifles, their hands moving with practiced ease as they disassembled and oiled the metal parts. Others were responsible for maintaining the trench itself, shoring up walls with sandbags and clearing drainage ditches to prevent flooding. In the quieter moments, the sound of shovels biting into earth was a soothing rhythm, a reminder of the tangible work that kept them grounded. The importance of maintaining discipline and order in such circumstances could not be overstated. In the trenches, where chaos and danger lurked just beyond the sandbags, Routine provided a sense of stability. It was a constant, like the steady ticking of a clock, marking the passage of time in a place where days and nights often blurred together. The soldiers understood that their survival depended on their ability to adhere to these routines, to perform their duties with care and diligence. Among the men, stories circulated, small anecdotes that captured the essence of trench life. There was the tale of Private Thompson, who, in an effort to break the monotony, had taken to naming the rats that scurried through the trenches. Each rodent was given a moniker, a small gesture that brought a touch of humor to an otherwise bleak existence. Then there was Corporal Hargrove, who had discovered a knack for whittling, his hands crafting small figures from bits of wood found amidst the debris. These small tokens were exchanged among the men, a tangible reminder of camaraderie and shared experience. The monotony of trench life was punctuated by moments of unexpected beauty. On clear nights, when the sky was a vast canvas of stars, the men would gather to gaze upward, losing themselves in the wonder of the universe. It was a reminder of the world beyond the trenches, a world that continued to exist despite the war's shadow. In those moments, the soldiers found a sense of peace, a respite from the ever-present tension. As the day wore on, the routine continued. Lunch was served, often a stew or soup, ladled into mess tins and consumed with a quiet efficiency. The afternoon brought more chores, more tasks to be completed, before the sun dipped below the horizon. Letters from home were read and reread, the words a lifeline to loved ones far away. For some, there was the solace of writing, of putting pen to paper and capturing thoughts and feelings in the form of letters that would travel across the sea to waiting families. Evening fell with the same gentle inevitability as the morning's rise. The stand-to was repeated, the men once again taking their positions along the parapets, eyes scanning the darkening landscape. As the last light faded, the soldiers retired to their dugouts, seeking rest in the cramped quarters they called home. The sounds of the trench at night were a lullaby of sorts, the distant rumble of artillery a reminder of the world beyond their immediate surroundings. In this place, where the mundane reigned supreme, the soldiers found a measure of resilience. It was a quiet strength, born of routine and shared hardship, a testament to their ability to endure. As they drifted into sleep, their thoughts turned to the promise of another day, another chance to carry on amidst the challenges of trench life. And so, with the gentle embrace of slumber, the men of the trenches found reassurance in the knowledge that, despite the monotony and the routine, they were part of something larger, something enduring. In the quiet moments before sleep, they held fast to the hope that, in time, the world would find peace once more. In the dim, flickering light of a trench dug deep into the earth, soldiers of the Great War often found themselves grappling with the harsh realities of their environment. The trenches, stretching across the European landscape, were more than just physical barriers. They symbolized the resilience and spirit of those who inhabited them. As the war raged on, these soldiers developed a mental and emotional fortitude that allowed them to endure the unimaginable conditions they faced day after day. Life in the trenches was a test of endurance, the constant threat of enemy fire, the relentless rain turning the ground into a quagmire, and the omnipresent scent of damp earth and gunpowder created an atmosphere of perpetual tension. Despite these challenges, soldiers found ways to maintain their morale, drawing on a deep well of resilience that became a shared trait among them. They supported one another, forming bonds that transcended nationalities and backgrounds. This camaraderie was a lifeline, a shared understanding that helped them face each new day with a sense of purpose. In the quiet moments between the chaos, soldiers often turned to writing letters to their loved ones back home. These letters served as a bridge between the grim present and the comforting memories of home. They were an opportunity to reassure families, to downplay the dangers they faced, and to offer a semblance of normalcy amidst the turmoil. The act of writing became a ritual, a momentary escape that allowed them to connect with the world beyond the trenches. One such letter, penned by a young soldier named Thomas, captures this delicate balance between truth and reassurance. "Dear Mother," he wrote, "I hope this letter finds you well. Life here is not as bad as you might think. The men are in good spirits, and we find ways to keep each other entertained. Please do not worry too much about me. I am doing just fine." Thomas's words, carefully chosen, were meant to soothe his mother's fears, to shield her from the harsh realities he faced each day. This practice of downplaying the dangers was common among soldiers. They understood the power of words to provide comfort, and they wielded this power with care. In their letters, the horrors of war were often transformed into tales of camaraderie and resilience. They spoke of shared meals, of songs sung in unison, and of the small victories that kept their spirits alive. Through these narratives, they offered their families a glimpse of hope, a reassurance that they were not alone in their struggles. The resilience of these soldiers was not just an individual trait, but a collective strength. It was a quality that bound them together, allowing them to face the unimaginable with courage and determination. They drew strength from each other, from the shared experiences that forged unbreakable bonds. In the darkest moments, they found solace in the presence of their comrades, knowing that they were not alone in their fight. As the war dragged on, the soldiers' resilience became a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure. It was a resilience born of necessity, a response to the harsh realities of trench life. Yet, it was also a resilience that was nurtured by the connections they maintained with their loved ones. The letters they wrote were a lifeline, a reminder of the world beyond the trenches and the people who awaited their return. In another letter, a soldier named Edward wrote to his sister, "The nights here are long, but I find comfort in the thought of home. I imagine us sitting by the fire, sharing stories and laughter. It is these memories that keep me going, that remind me of what I am fighting for." Edward's words reflect the dual nature of resilience, a strength drawn from within and from the ties that bind us to those we love. The soldiers' efforts to reassure their families were not just acts of kindness, but acts of resilience in themselves. By choosing to focus on the positive, by finding moments of joy amidst the chaos, they demonstrated an unwavering determination to protect those they loved from the harsh realities of war. Their letters were a testament to the power of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is light to be found. As the war came to an end, the resilience of these soldiers left an indelible mark on history. Their experiences, captured in the letters they wrote, offer us a glimpse into the human capacity for endurance and compassion. They remind us that even in the face of great adversity, we have the strength to persevere, to find solace in the connections we hold dear. As we drift into the realm of dreams, let us carry with us the lessons of resilience and reassurance that these soldiers have left behind. Their stories serve as a bridge to the broader cultural context and legacy of their experiences, a legacy that continues to shape our understanding of courage and the enduring power of the human spirit. Cultural reflections. As the twilight of the First World War descended upon Europe, a myriad of personal letters emerged from the trenches, each a poignant testament to the human spirit amidst the chaos. These letters, penned by soldiers to their loved ones, have since become invaluable cultural artifacts, offering a window into the past that is both intimate and profound. Through their heartfelt words, these soldiers have left an indelible mark on literature and art, shaping our collective memory of the war and deepening our understanding of its profound impact. The letters from soldiers during the Great War serve as a bridge between the personal and the universal. They provide a raw and unfiltered glimpse into the daily lives of those who fought, capturing moments of fear, longing, and camaraderie. These personal narratives have inspired countless works of literature, with authors drawing upon the rich emotional tapestry woven into each letter. The stark honesty and vulnerability found within these writings have influenced many to explore themes of sacrifice, courage, and the futility of war in their own creative endeavors. In the realm of art, the influence of soldiers' letters is equally profound. Artists have long been captivated by the emotional depth and vivid imagery contained within these personal accounts. The letters serve as a muse, inspiring visual representations that capture the essence of the human experience during wartime. From haunting paintings to evocative sculptures, these artistic expressions pay homage to the resilience and fortitude of those who endured the horrors of the trenches. Through their work, artists have been able to convey the complex emotions and enduring legacy of the war, ensuring that the voices of the soldiers continue to resonate with future generations. The role of these personal narratives in shaping public memory cannot be overstated. As the war receded into history, the letters became a vital means of preserving the experiences of those who lived through it. They have helped to humanize the conflict, transforming abstract statistics and distant battles into relatable stories of individuals. By sharing their hopes, fears, and dreams, the soldiers have allowed us to connect with their experiences on a deeply personal level. This connection fosters empathy and understanding, bridging the gap between past and present. Moreover, these letters contribute significantly to our understanding of the First World War by offering insights that official records and historical accounts often overlook. They reveal the day-to-day realities of life on the front lines, from the mundane to the extraordinary. Through the eyes of the soldiers, we gain a nuanced perspective on the challenges they faced, from the harsh conditions in the trenches to the ever-present threat of danger. The letters also highlight the emotional toll of the war, capturing moments of despair and resilience that resonate with readers even today. The cultural impact of these letters extends beyond literature and art. They have become a crucial part of our collective memory, shaping how we remember and interpret the events of the war. As primary sources, they provide historians and researchers with invaluable first-hand accounts that deepen our understanding of the conflict. These personal narratives offer a more comprehensive view of the war, challenging prevailing narratives and encouraging a more nuanced exploration of its causes and consequences. The letters also serve as a reminder of the enduring power of the written word. In an era when communication was limited to pen and paper, these missives were a lifeline for soldiers and their families. They offered solace and connection in a time of great uncertainty, providing a sense of continuity and hope. Today, they continue to resonate with readers, reminding us of the shared humanity that transcends time and place. As we reflect on the cultural impact of soldiers' letters, we are reminded of the importance of preserving these personal stories for future generations. They are a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and a powerful reminder of the sacrifices made by those who served. By honoring their legacy, we ensure that their voices continue to be heard, inspiring us to strive for a more peaceful and compassionate world. As we drift into the gentle embrace of sleep, let us carry with us the echoes of these personal stories, allowing them to guide us into a deeper understanding of the past. In the quiet moments of reflection, may we find solace in the enduring legacy of those who wrote from the heart, their words a beacon of light in the darkness of history. As we turn the page to the next chapter, let us explore further the lasting impact of these narratives and how they continue to shape our world today. Legacy of letters in the quietude of night. As the world drifts into slumber, the legacy of personal letters from the First World War whispers stories of the past, weaving through the tapestry of history with a gentle, enduring presence. These letters, penned by soldiers, nurses, and loved ones, hold within their fragile pages the echoes of a time that shaped the world. Preserved over the decades, they offer a window into the human experience amidst the chaos of conflict, inviting us to listen to the voices of those who lived through one of history's most tumultuous periods. During the years between 1914 and 1918, as Europe found itself embroiled in a conflict of unprecedented scale, the art of letter writing became a lifeline for many. Soldiers stationed on the front lines would scribble words of longing and hope, their letters becoming a bridge to the world they had left behind. For families waiting anxiously at home, each envelope bore the promise of connection, an assurance that their loved ones were still out there, somewhere beneath the same vast sky. The preservation of these letters has become a labor of love for historians and archivists who understand their invaluable role in capturing the essence of the era. Carefully stored in archives and museums, these documents are meticulously studied, providing insights into the daily lives and emotions of those who lived through the Great War. Through their words, we learn not just of battles and strategies, but of the human spirit's resilience in the face of adversity. In modern times, these letters serve as a poignant tool for historical research and education. They offer a personal perspective that textbooks alone cannot provide, allowing students and scholars to engage with history on a deeply human level. Reading the heartfelt missives of a young soldier to his sweetheart, or the comforting words of a nurse to her family, brings history to life in a way that is both intimate and profound. As we turn the pages of these letters, we are reminded of the power of the written word to transcend time and space. Despite the century that separates us from the authors, their emotions resonate with contemporary audiences. The themes of love, loss, and longing are universal, bridging the gap between past and present. In a world where communication is often instantaneous and digital, these letters remind us of the beauty and significance of taking the time to express our thoughts on paper. The study of these letters also reveals the cultural and social dynamics of the early 20th century. They offer glimpses into the lives of individuals from diverse backgrounds, reflecting the varied experiences and perspectives of those who lived during the war. Through their words, we gain insight into the societal norms and values of the time, as well as the challenges faced by those on both the home front and the battlefields. In recent years, there has been a renewed interest in these personal narratives as people seek to connect with the past in meaningful ways. Exhibitions and digital archives have made these letters more accessible to the public, allowing us to explore their stories from the comfort of our own homes. This accessibility has sparked a deeper appreciation for the sacrifices and experiences of those who came before us, fostering a sense of empathy and understanding across generations. The enduring legacy of these letters lies not only in their historical significance, but also in their ability to inspire reflection and contemplation. As we read the words of those who faced unimaginable challenges, we are reminded of the strength of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope. Their stories encourage us to cherish our own connections and to find solace in the written word, even in times of uncertainty. As the night deepens and the world grows still, the legacy of these letters continues to whisper softly, inviting us to pause and listen. They remind us that history is not just a collection of dates and events, but a tapestry woven from the lives and stories of individuals. In their words, we find a gentle reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of love and connection. And so, as we prepare to conclude this narrative, let us carry with us the quiet wisdom of these letters, allowing their stories to linger in our hearts as we drift into peaceful slumber. A gentle farewell. As we draw the curtain on this collection of heartfelt letters, we find ourselves steeped in a rich tapestry of emotions and insights that transcend time. These letters, penned amidst the turmoil of 1914 to 1918, offer us a window into the lives of those who lived through the Great Conflict. Through their words, we have journeyed alongside them, feeling the weight of their hopes and fears, their love and longing. In reflecting on this journey, we find a profound connection to the timeless nature of human emotion. Love, fear, courage, and sorrow. These threads run through every letter, weaving a narrative that is as relevant today as it was over a century ago. Despite the passage of time, the human heart remains unchanged, and these letters serve as a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. The letters reveal the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit. In the face of adversity, these individuals found ways to express their innermost thoughts and emotions. They wrote of the camaraderie forged in the trenches, where bonds formed under the most trying circumstances offered solace and strength. The shared experiences of soldiers, regardless of nationality, echo the universal desire for peace and understanding. The historical backdrop of these letters provides us with a deeper appreciation for the sacrifices made. The conflict saw the introduction of new technologies and tactics, altering the landscape of warfare. The mechanization of conflict brought about unprecedented challenges, yet the human capacity for empathy and connection remained steadfast. Through their correspondence, we glimpse the personal impact of these monumental changes, offering us a more intimate understanding of history. The letters also remind us of the significance of small acts of kindness and the power of words to bridge distances. In an era marked by uncertainty, the simple act of writing a letter became a lifeline, a way to maintain connections with loved ones far away. Through these letters, we witness the power of communication to uplift and sustain. A reminder that even in the darkest of times, a few words can bring light and hope. As we reflect on the insights gained from these letters, we are reminded of the importance of gratitude. The sacrifices made by those who lived through this tumultuous period are immeasurable. Their courage and determination paved the way for future generations. And it is with a deep sense of appreciation that we acknowledge their contributions. Their willingness to endure hardship and uncertainty for the sake of a better future is a testament to the strength of the human spirit. In closing, we offer a gentle farewell to the voices that have accompanied us through these pages. Their stories have left an indelible mark on our hearts, reminding us of the enduring power of love and the resilience of the human spirit. As we lay our heads to rest, let us carry with us the lessons learned from these letters, allowing their wisdom and warmth to guide us through the night. May the tranquility of their words envelop us, offering solace and peace as we drift into slumber. Let us hold close the memory of their sacrifices, cherishing the legacy they have left behind. In the quiet moments before sleep, we find comfort in the knowledge that, despite the passage of time, the human spirit remains unbroken, ever hopeful, and always reaching for the light. As we gently close this chapter, may the echoes of their voices lull us into a peaceful rest, leaving us with a profound sense of gratitude and connection to the past. And with these glimpses into the past, we close tonight's reading. May these stories bring you peace and rest as you drift into sleep.